welcome back. We've gotten a few questions about General MacArthur's paternal grandfather, and so we're going to talk about him today. Now, his name was Arthur MacArthur, and he was born on January 26, 1815, in Scotland. His father's last name was MacArthur, and his mother's maiden name was MacArthur, and later in life he would refer to himself as a double-distilled MacArthur. Now, his father died before he was even born, and his mother would eventually remarry, and the family would then move to the United States and settle in Massachusetts. Arthur was clearly a very hard worker and someone who seized every opportunity at social upward mobility. He completed his education in 1840 and went on to become a lawyer, and he was also very active in politics as a member of the Democratic Party. Now, he married Aurelia Belcher, the daughter of a fairly prosperous manufacturer, in 1844, and in the following year the couple welcomed their first son, Arthur MacArthur, the future father of Douglas MacArthur. Now, after a period of time in New York, the family then moved to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and soon after, Arthur was elected to the position of city attorney. He and Aurelia then had a second son, Frank, in 1853, but shortly thereafter, Aurelia was diagnosed with a sort of mental collapse. Now, today, most people believe that she was probably suffering from postpartum depression, but at the time, she was packed off eventually to a sanitarium, and tragically, that's where she died in 1865. Unfortunately, Frank's life would also end in tragedy in 1890. But while these tragedies were ahead, Arthur MacArthur's career was progressing. He accepted the Democratic Party's nomination to run for lieutenant governor in the 1855 Wisconsin state election. Despite charges of corruption facing the Democratic incumbent for governor, William Barstow, when the votes were in, Barstow and MacArthur were declared the winners. On the day they were inaugurated, though, the Supreme Court of Wisconsin, responding to allegations of fraud by the Republicans, announced that the court would examine charges of voting irregularities. The court soon found that votes from non-existing precincts had been counted and had given Barstow the margin he needed to win election as governor. He, as a result, resigned as governor of Wisconsin, and for a period of several days, MacArthur served as governor of Wisconsin until the Wisconsin court certified the Republican candidate for governor as the winner of the election. Arthur's reputation survived this nightmare, and he continued his political career. And in 1857, he was elected to Wisconsin Circuit Court, and then he was re-elected to this position 6 years later. During the American Civil War, he lobbied President Abraham Lincoln for an appointment to West Point for his son Arthur. When young Arthur did not want to wait for this appointment, he then secured a commission for him in the 24th Wisconsin, setting up a legacy of MacArthur's in the Army. After the Civil War, President Andrew Johnson asked him to lead the American delegation to Napoleon III's Paris Exposition. Then, in 1870, President Ulysses S. Grant appointed him an Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of the District of Columbia. He would remain in this position for the next 17 years and then go on to retire. He authored numerous books. He had a great interest in history and other intellectual pursuits. He was a passionate supporter of higher education and of the Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals and Children, and he also shared a birthday with his grandson, Douglas MacArthur. Douglas MacArthur was 16 years old in 1896 when his grandfather died, and he remembered him as a genial, highly respected, successful man. MacArthur biographer D. Clayton James identifies Arthur MacArthur Sr. as a very important influence on his grandson, and according to him, Douglas MacArthur learned from his grandfather that a MacArthur is a man of superior mind and talents, a potential master of sundry fields. A MacArthur commands the respect of important personages at the highest levels of government and society. A MacArthur, by virtue of his family's high rank in the Scottish aristocracy of blood and the American aristocracy of success and wealth, is obligated to conduct himself with honor, gallantry, and magnanimity.